Hey everyone, welcome back to channel GazMASH. I want to do the next in series for Behind the Lyrics. We did Jeremy, written by Pearl Jam. We looked at how Eddie Vedder came about writing that song. The next one we're going to be looking at is the artist called SKYND. Now SKYND is a female singer in the genre of industrial rock, heavy metal and horrorcore. Now SKYND is a group, they write music and songs about true crime. So they might make a few appearances in this series if you want to hear more about the band. Now they released a song called Elisa Lam in May 2018. Now the song title, Elisa Lam, might prick a few ears because that was made an appearance in a Netflix series about what happened to Elisa Lam. Now SKYND was asked, why did you write a song about the events that happened to Elisa Lam? And she said, I discovered the elevator video of Elisa Lam on YouTube. I was automatically drawn to this story, went down the rabbit hole for too long. What happened? Why was she acting so strangely? Now, to this day, we don't know exactly why Elisa Lam died the way she did. We know what happened to cause her death, but we don't know what physically happened. The events leading all the way up to her death are very much clouded in mystery as to what actually happened. Now, we know that a 21-year-old Canadian college student was last seen in the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles on the 31st of January 2013. Now, the moments that we have captured up until that point mainly focus on the elevator video, which I will show you a bit later on. Now, her body was discovered in the hotel's water tank on February the 19th. Now, obviously that is a horrendous and horrific way to die, but it was labelled by the coroner's office as an accidental drowning. Now, I'll go through the details of that, and you can make your own mind up as to how accidental that was. It accidental? Could there have been somebody else? Is there something else that could have gone on? Now, on January 26, 2013, Elisa Lam arrived in LA. She'd come from Amtrak train from San Diego and was headed to Santa Cruz as part of a solo trip, which she was basically taking a break away from the university where she studied. Now, her family weren't overly keen on this, you know, this young girl travelling on her own solo around the West Coast, you know, but they came to a meet in the middle and they said, you know, call us every day, let us know what you're doing, what your plans are, what you're going to be up to, which is more than understandable for any parent to want to know exactly, you know, where she was going, just so that they knew she was safe. Now, on January the 31st, Elisa was obviously due to check out of the Cecil Hotel. Now, the Lams hadn't heard from Elisa after this period and grew increasingly concerned, obviously, and then called the police. Now, the police then went to the Cecil Hotel and searched, but couldn't find any evidence of where Elisa Lam could have gone, where she might have planned to go to, or anything like that. Now, police then released surveillance footage taken from the Cecil Hotel and put it on their website. And this is where things really do take a change for the strange and the bizarre. And I'll put the video on. Now, this I've sped up at the beginning and the end, but then focus on this one particular section, which really does play to the mind. You'll see she's in the elevator and presses a lot of the buttons. She appears to jump and look outside the elevator, hiding in a corner. Makes you think, is somebody following her? You know, focusing on the fact of how long that elevator door stayed open for me, because the door stays open a long time, and you might think it's the sensor, but she stood outside of the doorway. The door should have shut by now. She goes back into it and presses the buttons again, you know, frantically pressing all the buttons, you know, obviously wanting this elevator to move. But it's at this point, it could be she was checking the sensor, but it wouldn't make sense as to why she would make those hand gestures and those hand motions outside of the elevator. Playing to SKYND's video again about that, the dark element, is there something paranormal? Is there something demonic? But also we do need to consider other things as well, because what has shown up in some of the facts later is that she was on medication for antipsychotics and various tablets, and that she hadn't taken them at the right moments at the right time and wasn't on the right dosage potentially, which could cause, you know, some hallucinations. They could do. And to the point I made earlier about the elevator door, you see that it's opening and shutting fine now as it's going through the various floors, but not when it was with Elisa. Now, that was the last footage of Elisa alive in the hotel. There was somebody that had seen her prior to this event. You know, one of the last few people that saw Elisa alive was when she went to a bookstore and she was buying books, and the hotel, the bookshop owner had said She seemed perfectly happy. She was buying books, and she seemed to be happy to be taking these home for friends and family. There was nothing untoward. There was nothing that seemed a cause for concern. You know, everything seemed perfectly normal at that point, and that's why that video seems so strange. On the 19th of Feb, 2 weeks after the video was published, the maintenance worker, San Diego, found Elisa Lam's body, unfortunately, in the water tank. Now, he'd basically only gone up there to search because the residents of the hotel had complained about low water pressure and the water tasting strange. So obviously when the gentleman went up there and found that must have been horrific events. Now the fire, the Los Angeles Fire Department sort of said they had to completely drain the tank and then cut into the tank to be able to take Elisa out of that, and you'll see in the picture how big these were. Now, nobody knows how Elisa could have physically got to that area of the hotel. Now, you would have to take the elevator to the 15th floor. You would then go up the staircase. The next part is you'd have to disable the roof alarm. If you were to go onto the roof, the alarm goes off. The only way to disable that is with the code, and the hotel owners have said that the only way of doing that is if you were a member of staff or if you had a copy of the code, which plays to the idea of, did she actually go up there alone? When getting onto the roof, she would then climb again up the stairs with the intention to go up onto these huge containers. The lock to the container itself wasn't locked because she was able to lift the door off the top, where you'll see in the picture. She had to lift that all the way up and then climb into the water tank, which does make the mind wonder, was she alone? Would she be able to do this on her own? We really wouldn't know. Now, that is the events of Elisa Lam, and essentially the story that inspired SKYND. And SKYND was asked, how did you feel writing this? And he said, I felt very uncomfortable. I often tried and put myself in Elisa's place. This feeling of being locked in and not being able to get out caused me some sleepless nights. Every case I write about makes me uncomfortable, and I feel it's important to talk about these things, even though it can cause discomfort. And I've shown lyrics from the song throughout this video as to the links that she's made to the song, to the story throughout. And that's essentially it when it comes to writing that song, Elisa Lam. That is the story, but not just for the Cecil Hotel, because you could make a larger video about the Cecil Hotel, and I'm sure there are many on YouTube, and if you would type the name you would find them. Now, since opening its doors in 1927, the Cecil Hotel has been plagued by 16 non-natural deaths and unexplained paranormal events. And the most famous death associated with the hotel, other than Elisa Lam's, was in 1947 with the murder of Elizabeth Short, aka the Black Dahlia, who was reported to be seen drinking at the bar days before her demise. Also in 1985, Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker, had stayed there. And the list does grow on from that. That is not it, but this is just a behind the lyrics video. If you want to know more, you can obviously search on YouTube. I'm sure there's many videos about the Cecil Hotel on there. If you enjoyed this sort of content, make sure to let me know in the comments and hit the like button. I would appreciate that. And if you know a song that has a true story sitting behind it, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to try and get to it as well. Whatever it is you're doing, have an amazing weekend. And as always, I'll see you later.